What's up, y'all? Welcome back to 6-2 Reviews. Today we're checking out another beer from Founders Brewing out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is the one and only CBS Canadian Breakfast Stout 2025 edition. So, I gotta tell y'all, I have never had CBS before. Never had it. Huge KBS fan. We've checked out quite a few different variants, but I have never had CBS one time before. So I'm very, very excited to check this one out today. Some of my favorite adjuncts when it comes to adjuncts in a stout are in this beer. So very excited to check it out. This comes in at 11.7% ABV, which I want to say is a little bit lower than most KBS variants I've seen. I could be wrong, but CBS is an imperial stout brewed with chocolate and coffee, aged in bourbon barrels with maple syrup. On the back here, it says the legendary CBS returns. CBS is a bold imperial stout featuring chocolate and coffee that is aged in bourbon barrels with maple syrup. The sweet but balanced aromas of maple syrup and chocolate fill the air, while notes of toasted oak and vanilla become more profound with every sip, melding together in what can only be described as a transcendent drinking experience. Bottled on October 1st, 2025, so time recording, we are just over 4 months old. Label wise, I like it. I don't know the resemblance behind the horse on here. Am I just an idiot? I don't know. But I do really like the label. I don't think this is one they haven't really changed too much from what I've seen too. I know they've kind of switched up the KBS label a little bit, but not the CBS from what I've seen. This has been kept at room temp down here, probably about 65 degrees. So I popped it in the fridge real quick for about half an hour. So right around perfect drinking temp for this style. I like how they put this on the inside, the caps here. Full barrel aged series. I need to check out some other founder stuff here soon if we can find. That's the problem. If we can find it fresh. Most of the times, KBS and these CBS beers are the only beers from founders I can find relatively fresh. But this beer looks awesome. Looks like most KBS beers that I've had. A nice half finger of kind of like latte colored head. Sticking around too, which I'm kind of surprised by, given the ABV. Yeah, beer looks nice, man. It's got very dark, poured like cola when you pour it in the glass. Looks really nice. So let's check out the aroma. See how much of that maple we get through. Well, the coffee's definitely present. Man, that smells really nice. Coffee, oak. I don't know if I'd necessarily say like bourbon, but definitely like a woodiness. Obviously, chocolate. It is a stout. Not as chocolate forward as I was expecting. Yeah, tons and tons of coffee. So if you're a coffee stout fan, you're probably going to like this, which I happen to be. There might be like a hint of a little perceived sweetness, but I'm not getting a ton of maple. Yeah, there's this like dry oak character coming through. It's just like generic woodiness, and then coffee, sir. Coffee, I love coffee, so I like this aroma. I was hoping for a little bit more from this, just given the adjuncts in here, being a barrel aged beer, hoping for a little bit more in the aroma. We'll see what we get on the taste. Cheers. Okay, Yeah. Hmm. I got to be honest. I was expecting more. I was expecting more. Um, it's pretty one dimensional. Good flavor, but it's not hanging around. I mention that all the time. I like that. That's how you're going to get me. If it's hanging around on my palate and just sticking there, that's what I love in beers, especially barrel aged beers. Pretty one dimensional. It's that woody character comes through, but it's not like bourbon. It's just like a generic woodiness. There's a hint of a like sweetness. Coffee comes through. Not a like a huge amount of chocolate. Just given that, yeah, I mean it's brewed with chocolate. I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know what kind of chocolate they're using. Being up in Michigan, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using some type of fudge. Um, I don't know. Body's a little bit thin for 11.7%. There's a like hint of maple. There is this like sweetness, and I do think um, if it was any sweeter, it would get a little bit cloying to me. But I don't know if I like if you gave this to me blind, I don't know if I would call out maple specifically. There's this the woody character comes through and like kind of cuts out the sweetness, but it's just like a very dry woodiness. And I wish I got just a little bit more spirit. I mean, yeah, there is definitely chocolate there. Like I'd say semi, like straight on semi sweet chocolate. But I mean, you're talking about a beer that, which I'll have to go back and watch my KBS reviews, but because I know those are brewed with chocolate too, and see, if I thought there was a lot of chocolate in those beers. Because like if you're gonna add chocolate to a beer, I want it to be fudgy. I want it to be super chocolatey. I got a sweet tooth, so I like beers that have that chocolate component to it, and I'm not getting as much as I want. Maybe your mileage may differ, right? Um, I may prefer beers that have a little bit more chocolate than others. I'm a huge coffee fan. This is definitely have that. Um, some of you out there may not be a big coffee fan. Um, yeah, but I gotta be honest. This out of all the like KBS and barrel aged, I should say, just straight on barrel aged beers from founders that I've had, this is on the lower end of those. It's still good, but it's not what I was hoping for. Um, yeah, I don't know. For a barrel aged stout, it's good, not great. So I think rating wise, I'm gonna go straight on 4 with this. Straight on 4. I think that's a good rating for this one. But I'm a little bit disappointed just because I know this is just one of those beers people really really enjoy. I don't know, maybe it's just um, this vintage. Um, I'm sure it's changed from how it was back in the day, but I was hoping for a little bit more from this one. So if you've had the 2025 edition of CBS, let me know down in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts about this one. I've seen a few other guys review this one, so I'm gonna go watch those after this. Haven't didn't want anything. How do you say? Just get in the way of my review. So I'm gonna go watch those. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Cheers.